Hey guys, Broden here, founder of Yak Digital marketing agency right here in the Gold Coast. Wanted to talk to you guys today and do a webinar today on marketing momentum. So we've been helping out loads of businesses recently with all kinds of different things, and I wanted to piece together a bit of a webinar that would be a bit of a cover-all basis, make sure there's lots of information in it for you guys to be able to go through, start creating some of your own campaigns, understand who your buyers are, and much more. It's going to go for about 15-20 minutes. If there is any questions, queries you've got, feel free to reach out at the end. Otherwise, grab yourself a nice comfy seat, pen and paper, take some notes. It's going to be pretty fast paced. We're going to be going through a lot of different things here. But for now, let's jump straight into it. So today we're going to be covering things like who is your avatar? We're going to look at what keywords are they searching for. We're going to look at what is your USP, which stands for unique selling point. We're going to look at features versus benefits and why you need to be selling benefits and not just the features of your product. We're going to look at putting it all together in creating a hook and offer. And then second to last, we're going to create some CTAs, which is a call to action. So just getting a bit of a clarification around what your call to action should be. And then finally, we do a lot of things when it comes to creating landing pages. So we wanted to sort of give over some of our secret herbs and spices and give them directly to you guys so that you can start creating your own awesome landing pages with the right structure and everything in mind. So if you do any of your own marketing, you can have the right place to send your traffic to. So let's jump into it. So first and foremost, we're going to look at creating an avatar. So I get asked a lot when I talk about avatars is what is an avatar? And your avatar in simplest form is a ideal buyer. It's your buyer persona. Who is your client? And about creating that person as a real person or a fictional person at least, and understanding them deeply. So we'll dive into some questions, but ultimately when I go through avatar creation with businesses, I like to ask a few of these questions. It does vary from business to business depending on what your business is, and other things. But these questions should give you guys a really good starting point to dive deeper into who that person is. Because ultimately we want to know as much as possible about your avatar so that we can better market to them. We can better sell your product to them. Okay, so start and ask yourself things like, what are they doing? What do they like doing? What are their hobbies? What hobbies do they do on the weekend? What do they do after work? What keeps them occupied? Because having a deeper understanding of that's going to allow you to build rapport, but it's also going to allow you to connect better as well. Okay, understanding what they do for work. Again, some industries you'll be able to have a clear industry that they might do. Other times that might not be applicable, but asking these questions will really help you get an understanding. So feel free to take notes of these, take screenshots and answer them. Answer them for yourself. You want to understand how old are they? Are they married? Do they have kids? How old are their kids? Dive specifically into their family life. And that will allow you, again, to better connect with them. What do they love doing? And what do they hate doing? These are two really great questions because if a client loves doing something specific, that's a selling point to them. And if they hate doing something, that might be the problem that you're trying to solve. So if you've got a business, there's a good chance that you're solving a problem. So find out what they hate doing and sell to solve that problem. And then finally, one that gets overlooked really a lot, I should say, is that how do they like to communicate? So understanding how your clients like to communicate is really important. You want to ask yourself, do they like to communicate via phone? Do they like to communicate via email, text message, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever it might be? Find out how they like to communicate and get on the same page as them. There's no sense in trying to get them to do something they aren't used to. So you get on the same page as your audience and you make sure you're communicating in the right platforms to suit them. Okay, now what keywords are they looking for? So once you've got a better understanding of your audience, you'll be able to get a better understanding of what they actually might be searching for when it comes to looking online. Having a list of keywords is really important for any marketing campaign because it gives you a better understanding of what people are looking for. So chiropractor is what we've got an example of here today. If I wanted to search chiropractor, I may not search chiropractor. What I might search for is how to fix back pain. So look and think outside the box when it comes to what your clients might be searching for. They might not just be searching for your business specifically, or your business name, or your business industry. They might be searching in a different avenue that can give you a whole lot of extra traction. So in this case, how to fix back pain, when I did the research on that the other day, there's about 950,000 people a month searching for that. Now, good chance not all those people looking for chiropractors, but there's a huge amount of people that are searching, that if you can tap into the torrential downpour of clients that are already searching for a specific keyword that you're not targeting, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just have to simply tap into it, and you'll start to get a lineup of clients knocking on your door, wanting to do business with you. So find out what the keywords are. It's super important. Next, and finally, when it comes to avatars, is give them a name. So it's really important to give your avatar or your client persona or your ideal buyer, whatever you want to call it, give them a name, because it makes them a little bit more real. So you might call them John, James, Mary, Barry, Steve, Tim, whatever, right? Give them a name that's just something that makes it more real. And the reason you do that is that whenever you're doing any marketing or sales or business or anything in your business, really, you want to ask yourself, would James like this, your avatar? Would this suit Mary? And you can ask yourself those questions as an individual, but as a team when you're creating things, and you can really get to understand it. And it makes it easier to write copy. You might be writing copy for your website, you might be writing emails, weekly, monthly, whatever. Whatever you're creating, you can gear specifically towards your avatar. And ask yourself, would Mary like this? If they do, great, do it. If they don't, maybe rethink the strategy. Okay, so it's important to do these sort of things. Now, moving on. We want to look at what's next, and that's your USP. So a USP stands for a unique selling point. Now that's pretty obvious what it is it's something that makes you unique. But you want to dive a little bit deeper onto this, and you want to start to ask yourself, well, what does make me unique? Why does someone choose my business over someone else? What motivators are there that make someone choose me over somebody else? What does your ideal client really want? So you want to be able to understand what your USP is, because consumers don't want to buy products. They want to solve their problems. They're always thinking, what's in it for me? WIIFM, what's in it for me? That's what your clients think. And that's what we're sort of covering a lot of today, is understanding your client better so that you can get in their shoes, you can get in their mind and start pitching it in the way that they want to be sold. Because they don't want to buy, but they're going to like buying if it's the right product for them. Okay? So when looking at USP, try and think of, what do you do different to anyone else in your industry? What do you do better than anyone else in your industry? Or what do you market better than anyone else in your industry? All three of those can be USPs. And quite often that third one, what do you market better than anyone else, is overlooked, because you might be a business that does the same things as another business. But if that other business isn't marketing it as good as you can potentially tap into that as your USP. So dive deeper into what makes you unique and why someone would choose you. Ask that question. Why would someone choose you? Whatever you answer, I guarantee, ask why again. Why? And dive deeper. Ask yourself 3 or 4 times, why? Because that's what's really going to get you to the core of what your USP is. Okay? Now, moving on. What are the benefits? What are the features? Features versus benefits. Now, this is one that comes in really from a sales perspective. So in my sales training days, this is a big point we used to cover on, is that a lot of people, when they're trying to sell their product or market their product, they would love to sell the features. The red button, the algorithm, the thing that does that. Honestly, nobody really cares about those things. Most of your consumers, most of your audience will not care about the features that it has. What they really want is, what's in it for me? They want the benefit. If you have a certain algorithm that does a thing, great. What's the benefit of that? What is the real cause of why that client wants it? Is that going to save them time? Is it going to make them more money? Is it going to save them money? Is it going to get them more time with their family? What is it going to do? Dive deep. Again, this is a really deep dive webinar here that we're going through today, guys. What is the root cause of what the benefit is? So what I want you to do going forward is actually get a list and write down all the features of your product or your service or whatever it is you do. Write down a list, very thorough. And then on a separate column, write down the benefit that correlates to that feature. So if you've got feature A, what's the benefit? Feature B, what's the benefit? And you'll find that there's probably more features than there are benefits because you'll have lots of double ups on your benefits. But that's fine. That will really help you identify, well, hey, maybe this is my USP. Maybe this is what we're here for. Maybe the main purpose of our product is just to save our clients time. And boom, that's part of your offering that we'll go into shortly. So sell what people want to buy. Don't try and get them to buy things that they don't know what it is. Just sell what they want. Make your product align with what they want. Okay? So, creating a hook and offer, as I said, we've just identified who your buyer is. We know who your avatar is. We know who they are, what they do, what they like, all about their life. Okay, we now know about your USP, what makes you guys unique, and we know what benefits you have to your features. So now it's about putting that together into a hook and offer. So a hook and offer is going to be what's grabbing their attention. A hook is something that grabs them, pulls them in, and gets their attention. Okay, so first and foremost, we want to look at creating an attention-grabbing headline. So in most forms of advertising or marketing, there's going to be some form of headline there, whether it's on your website, on your business card, on your flyer, landing page, billboard, whatever. Whatever kind of marketing or advertising you're doing, there's going to be some sort of attention-grabbing headline. So make it grabbing, make it attention-grabbing. Numbers are a really great way to do this. So if you can include some numbers into your headline, that's going to be attention-grabbing as well. So it might be 7 steps to do such and such. Okay, find out what that is. Try and throw some numbers in there if you can. Statistics are good. Make your audience curious. So make it a big, crazy headline that sparks curiosity. If there's no curiosity, then people aren't going to want to click further or want to look further into it. So find something make it a curiosity, make it spark, make them click it. What's WIIFT? So this is what we spoke about earlier, WIIFM, what's in it for me? We've just flipped that on the head, and you guys want to think about, well, what's in it for them? That's always got to be your purpose. That's always got to be your thinking. So in creating your hook or offer, what's in it for them? I really identify that and articulate that. And then finally, can you guarantee your offer? That is a massive selling point. Statistically, people rarely take up a guarantee. So it's worth doing it in most cases to be able to back yourself. Now, I know there's some industries out there that can't guarantee, and that's fine. If that's you, disregard this little section. But if that's not you, put together a big, hairy, audacious guarantee. The crazier, the better. Whatever guarantee you're thinking of right now, times it by 5, times it by 10. Make it more guaranteed. Make it bigger. Make it crazy. Because if you can't back yourself, why is someone else going to back you? Why is someone else going to invest into you? Why is someone else going to take advantage of your product or service if you can't even back yourself? So come up with a guarantee. You know, if they don't reach X, Y, Z, you're going to pay them back 5 times what they invested. Or you're going to do it for free until they do. Or whatever it might be. Think of a crazy guarantee that you can offer that keeps you up at night. That's how crazy it is, right? Crazy guarantees, they're going to help you get more people over the line. And even if statistically you might lose 5% of your clients because they'll take you up on the guarantee, at the end of the day, if you can get more clients than you're going to lose, then by offering your guarantee, that's going to be a good outcome. A guarantee is a marketing tool. That's all it is. It helps you convert clients by building authority and credibility in what you're doing and giving away a bit of trust. So if you can offer a guarantee, then it's going to help you get more clients. All right, next, we want to look at call to action. So CTA, call to action. Once we've created the offer, the headline, there's usually going to be some sort of call to action, or there should be some sort of call to action underneath that. So right here, we've got click here, right? That's a really basic call to action. Don't do that. Pick something that is going to be consistent. So in some cases, it might be sign up for a free trial, book a consultation, book a discovery call, subscribe here, buy here, whatever, okay? Whatever your call to action is, identify what it is you want your clients to do, and then consistently push that out. Don't have 400 different call to actions. If you've got more than one call to action on a page, I'd be thinking very carefully about why. Now, there are certain times and places that it's okay to have more than one, but very rarely. So if you've got more than one call to action, if you've got a subscribe, a buy, a sign up here, a download here, that's too confusing. That's going to confuse clients. They're not going to know what to do, and they're not going to do what you want them to do. So if you want a client to buy things, ask them to buy things. If you want them to subscribe, guess what? Ask them to subscribe. And if you want them to download something, ask them to download it, and just ask them to download. Don't ask them to do 4 other things as well. Next, we sort of want to put a little bit together here. All right, so this is just for the sake of example. This is a made-up business, but ultimately in the top left, you've got the headline. So we've got Get Hustling with 30-day free trial. So this headline is about capturing attention and what you're promising to do. Underneath that, you've got your subheading. So that's going to be about your offer and your what's in it for them. So what are they getting? What are you offering? Underneath that, you can start to build a bit of curiosity and you can sell some of your benefits here. Okay, so bullet points are great for this particular aspect because it's just short, sharp, sweet. This is what you're getting, And then over on the right, we've got a call to action. So we've got get started, and then we're asking for a name and email. So we've got a very clear call to action. That's all we want them to do is to get started by punching in their name and email. Now, if you want to ask for more details, that's absolutely fine. I know some businesses that will ask up to 20 questions. Keep in mind, the more you ask, the less leads you're going to get. Okay, so if you ask for a name, email, phone number, and various other elements, you're going to get a lesser take-up rate than just asking for an email. What it will do though, if you ask for more details, is it will generally start to qualify your audience. So the more questions you ask, the more qualified that lead is going to be. So find out where you want to sit, because you'll want to try and find your sweet spot between quantity and quality. There's no sense in getting no really quality leads, but then also that you don't want to get 100 unqualified leads. So try and find your sweet spot by asking just the right amount of questions. But generally speaking, start off with as few as possible to test how many you can get in. And then they can enter into your funnel of some sort. We can probably talk about that another day. But get them into your funnel and then you can start to nurture those clients. Now, moving forward, when creating a landing page, there's 3 things that we always implement across all of our landing pages. It's super important to be able to do this because it's going to help you convert more people. And they're the ABCs. Nice and simple. Right, we've got authority, branding, and conversions. If you can build authority, you've got consistent branding, and you can get conversions. That's a recipe for a good landing page. So we'll break this down one by one. A, authority. There's 3 main elements that we look for when it comes to building authority. Number 1 is your testimonials. So if you can get testimonials from clients that are going to be able to say nice things about you, it's always nice from a consumer point of view if they can see someone else has already been through this journey, someone else has already had a good experience. Nobody wants to be the first. So get some testimonials up on your website, up on your landing page. Next is client logos. So this could be people you're partnered with, it could be people you're working with. Try and find businesses that you're working with that maybe have a bit more authority than you. So if you're working with a big franchise group or you're working with a big corporate company, those are great logos to put on there because you can say you've worked with them and you can actually leverage the authority of them. So what this does from a consumer point of view is that they can say, oh, that huge business is taking you up, or this business is working with you, I might do that too. So it helps build a bit of social proof. And then finally is your featured panel. So a featured panel is really great. 2 main reasons. It can show that you've been featured in media, news, newspaper, magazines, whatever it might be. So being featured in something generally says and cries, hey, I'm credible. These guys featured me. I must be doing the right thing. So the more times you've been featured, brilliant. Don't hide it. Don't keep it a secret. Plaster it on the website. Place it in there. And if you've won any awards, this is a great section to put that in there as well. So if you've won XYZ award for being the best business in the world, great. Put that on your landing page because that's a great award. And it's the similar aspect. It's all going to help you build authority. Okay. B is for branding. So I read a quote not long ago and it said, marketing is like asking someone out on a date. And branding is what makes them say yes. So having a clear, consistent brand is super important. One thing I see all too often is 4,000 colors, lots of different things clashing all over the place, and it just cries, I'm a rookie, I don't know what I'm doing. So having a clear brand, which again, we could go into a whole section on this, but having a clear brand, don't pick too many colors, have some in contrast, put some time and energy into who is your brand. Now, brand goes a little bit further than just your logo and your colors. It goes much deeper into What is your business about? What are your core values? What is your personality? There's a lot that we could dive into there. We just simply don't have the time. It'll probably be another webinar. So feel free to reach out to me if that's something you guys want me to create. Love to. But for now, branding, make sure it's clear and consistent and looks professional. And finally, C is conversions. That's why we're all in business, is we're here to convert people into clients. Okay, now what you want to do is go back to that call to actions. Those call to actions are super important to your conversions. You need to have a clear call to action. It was just recently I was talking to a rather large business that spent a handful of money, quite a large handful of money on marketing. And the first thing I identified on their landing page was they had no call to actions. So how can you expect someone to do something or to take an offer up if you're not asking them to do anything? If you don't ask anyone to do anything, they're not going to do it. So what do you want your clients to do? And then simply place some clear call to actions in there. And like I said earlier, make sure there's not too many call to actions because that will get confusing. So have clear call to actions. And from a landing page perspective, you want to try and remove the menu at the top and the footer at the bottom because this is going to remove more distractions. So it's okay to have a logo in the top left-hand corner, but I would get rid of the rest of the menu because we don't want people going to your about or your other services or whatever it is. If you've sent someone specifically to a landing page through some traffic, you either want them to do what you've asked them to do and not do a bunch of other things that you've got on the website. So keep it really clear, have a single call to action for a landing page with no menu, with no footer. That'll help you with your conversions. Now, putting all this together, it's about understanding where is the traffic and what platforms to use. These are questions I get all the time, is where should I advertise? And believe it or not, a lot of businesses come to us and they don't know what they want to do. Some do, some don't, but ultimately we want to identify, okay, well, where are your audience? We want to go through what we've just been through today, find out who your audience is, where they're at, and then what is the right platform for you. Now, this is one great element that I like to go through with clients to get a better understanding of, okay, well, this is how the platforms work. This is how the audience is separated. So ultimately, if we start at the bottom of this triangle here, we've got 60% of people are not problem aware. In summary, that means they don't know what they don't know. They don't know that there is even a problem. So it's very hard to target these people because they're oblivious. Advertisements are everywhere. They're every 3 seconds we're seeing advertisements. Wherever you go, there's advertisements. So people become oblivious to something unless they are problem aware, which is the next level up. So when they're not problem aware though, the only real place you can target people is across social media generally, because they're not actively looking for it across Google or anything like that. It's going to be across your social medias that you're going to be able to promote this. So you can use some targeted approach through this across your social media, try and find these people because you know who they are. And ultimately at this stage in the funnel, all you're trying to do is to build some awareness around the problem because they don't know they have that yet. So if you can tell them that there's this problem, they might go, aha, I do have that problem. And suddenly they move up into the 20% of problem aware people. Okay, so when you're in the problem aware stage, you're still not necessarily trying to go really hard on a sale. Okay, you might not be just saying, hey, buy my stuff right now because they've only just become problem aware. There's no real urgency on them doing things most of the time. So it's about giving them some more information that's going to help them make a better decision. So again, social media is a great platform for this because again, you can target these people without them having to actively be searching. So they're not necessarily looking on Google or Bing or wherever, right? Looking for these things. They are most likely just cruising along, and if the right ad at the right time shows up on their social media, they might start looking a little bit more thorough, I should say. So again, that targeted approach, education is king at this particular point. Moving up to information gathering mode, this is why information's king and education's king, is because then we can move them to information gathering mode. So once you start showing them this information and they're actively looking for this information, this is when they start to Google things. This is when they start going out and Googling how to do this, how do I solve that problem? And this is where we can start including not only social media, but we can start to include some SEO and Google ads and things like that as well across search engine because people are looking. So if we can get in front of those people at the right time, showing them the right information, we can get them and give them the information. So again, it's quite obvious, but information and education at this particular point is also really handy. We're not necessarily going for the hard sale. We're not trying to close them on this particular point because there's only 3% of people, which is the top part of the triangle, that are in buy now mode. There's only 3% at any given time in any given market. On average, there's about 3% of people that are in buy now mode. Now, these are the people that will see your ad and go, hey, I need that right now, and they'll click buy. This creates competitiveness across social media and Google because everyone wants to target these 3% of people. If everyone's targeting the same keywords at the same time, that's why Google's an auction house. That's why Google has a cost per click that varies depending on what keyword you're targeting. You know, if you're a mortgage broker, you're probably paying $100 per click because it's so competitive in that particular space. So be wary with where you're targeting and where you're allocating your funds. Are you spreading them across the triangle of at least the top 3 sections of the triangle anyway, and capturing audience before it becomes too hard and too competitive? Now, I'm not saying don't target those 3% because it does work. So by all means, that is a great place to be in. But if you can also get in the other 37% across information gathering mode and problem aware mode, you'll be able to have an enormous and huge success across social media and Google ads to be able to promote your business. And you'll be able to get a lot of these clients into your database, into your funnel, and be able to nurture them so that when they become buy now mode, they already know who you are. They already like, trust, and understand what you do. So they're going to be much better equipped to take advantage of what you have to sell rather than the guy that they've just found 3 minutes ago on Google. So getting in early and having a layered marketing campaign across these 3 channels is a really successful approach. And not only that, it does spread your eggs in more than one basket. You're not relying on one particular stream of income to be able to drive your marketing campaigns. So understand that. Hopefully that really gives you guys a better and clearer understanding of where your clients are at, which markets to use, which platforms to use, and how to create an offer. Because if you can go through these 10 steps that we've been through today and put them into place, you're going to be able to have a much better result when it comes to marketing. I see these issues come up from time and time again. So I thought I'd create this webinar so you guys could go through. Hopefully you've taken some really good notes. If it all becomes too much or it's too hard, feel free to get in touch. We are at the moment offering a free 30-minute consultation. So if you want to have a chat to myself or one of my team, you can jump on a call. We'll go through absolutely everything in that 30 minutes. We'll do a deep dive. We'll look at all of where your buy triangle is. We'll dive into your avatar, who they are, what offers you could do, and much, much more. We'll even look at competitors and stalk them a little bit too. So we've got some really cool tools that we can dive into. But ultimately, in that 30-minute consultation, we'll be able to go through loads and loads of info. If not, you'll have loads of information from this webinar. And like I said, reach out if you have any questions. In the meantime though, I do appreciate your time, guys. And I know we've been on here for a little bit. It was quite fast. So I'll see you guys in the next webinar. Bye.